Hey Patty, Tony Mello. So we communicated a little bit yesterday by text message. I was driving, coming back from a showing that I was doing. We definitely want to work for you. We want to make sure that you're taken care of. However, it's important that we get things done in order so that you're protected. Now, a lot of people that are not in this industry don't know certain particulars about how everything works. There are a lot of people out there that think that the only listings that an agent, such as myself, a buyer agent, I do listings, I do buyer clients, I help people buy homes. Some people out there think that the only thing that they can sell are things that they've secured themselves. Not true at all. Obviously, you can do that if you have your own listings, and we do have our own listings. But that is not the only properties that we can sell to any buyer clients that happen to come along, such as yourself. So, honestly, if it ever worked that way, no one would ever make a living in this kind of business. So, there's a few things that we should probably, if we ever get a chance to, either in person or on the phone, go over just to kind of get some of the basic stuff out so that you know how some of the stuff works. There's a thing called MLS, the Multiple Listing Service, through an agreement through all brokers, called the Broker Reciprocity Agreement. Basically, all the brokers have agreed that if we get a listing, we're going to put it on this database, this large list of properties, and we're going to share this information with everybody. So with that, and when that happened, and when it was before me, it was in the 60s, 50s, for whatever, it happened way back when. With that, everybody has access to that list. I get to show everybody's properties, whether I am the listing agent or not the listing agent. So that's how it works. As far as how I get paid, obviously, I make a living from this. This is how I feed my family. This is how I pay for the electricity and all that stuff. So it's important that one, I secure your confidence to make sure that you know that I will be taking care of you, doing what we're supposed to be doing. And honestly, all these deals, it's always going to be better to have one agent representing one client, one agent representing the other client. Think of this as like a divorce proceedings. If you had an ex-husband, you're about to be an ex-husband, and he had a lawyer, you wouldn't go directly to that lawyer for him to protect your interests. It's the same thing with this, where you want a buyer agent, you want a listing agent. Are there cases where the listing agent can equally represent more or less in a satisfactory way both? Yeah, sure. There's times where you can do that. And most of those cases are cases where, the buyer and the seller know each other, trust each other implicitly. In those cases, it works. That's fine. 99.99999% of the time, that's not the case. It's usually buyer A, seller B. They don't know each other. They don't trust each other. They're all trying to do different things. One's trying to get as much money. One's trying to get it for the as least money possible. So there's a lot of stuff in here that we're trying to protect you from and with. But we just need the opportunity to be able to speak so that we can answer your questions, discuss how it typically works, why things are set up the way they are, why you don't want to go to the listing agent. That's another perception that people have, that if they go to the listing agent, that they're going to get a phenomenal deal because there's no buyer agent to pay. Not true, because honestly, if it's a 5% listing, it's a 5% listing. Whether they share it with a buyer, client, buyer agent, rather, buyer agent or not, it doesn't make a difference to them. They're going to make that 5% or 6% or whatever it is. So you're not going to get any kind of inside deals because you're going directly to the listing agent. You're not going to, there's no benefit other than if you know the buyer seller knows each other directly and implicitly and has complete trust. There's zero benefit to having a buyer go directly to the listing agent. Remember, their responsibility when they signed, or when the seller signed the contract with the listing agent, their responsibility, the listing agent, is explicitly and totally and completely for the seller. So if you happen to go to a showing and you say, I can afford $1 million, it's that person's responsibility to go back to the seller and say, you know what? They told me that they can afford $1 million. They want to buy this house for $250,000, but I know they can afford $500,000. Go for the $500,000. You see what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. You really need to be careful on who you're associating with. You want to make sure that you have representation. Again, go back to that whole ex-divorce thing. You know, you wouldn't go to the lawyer that's representing the ex, because that lawyer has a fiduciary duty to represent their client only. This is exactly the same thing, representing their client only. So we're here, the team, here to represent you, to make sure that you're taken care of, to make sure that the paperwork is all taken care of. Real estate, for the most part, is agents, is management. It's knowing the paperwork, it's knowing the pitfalls, the traps, being able to negotiate with the other side to make sure that you're taken care of. That's what we do. We're not salespeople. I'm not here to sell you into something, to force you into anything. It's just not my personality. It's not the way I do things. I'm a consultant. I know how to buy real estate. I know it's involved. We've been doing it for years. So that's really what we do and what we want to do. I wanted to create this video because I'm having a hard time reaching you by phone. I can't talk to you by phone. I get a sense that you have a level of distrust, potentially with, agents, and you're going back to that realtor.com, which is fine. But yeah, I'm calling you, Joe was calling you, Mary's calling you, Larry's calling you. They're all calling you, and that's perfectly fine. Right now, you're on our MLS. You're getting that information, which is the better way, as opposed to Zillow, Trulia, Realtor. MLS is the source. It's that part of that broker reciprocity thing. We get the listings, we put the information into MLS. That's where it starts. It goes out from there. So if you want the fastest, the best information, stick with MLS. Pick a real estate agent, hire that real estate agent, work with that real estate agent. That is the fastest, easiest, best way that you're going to get the information that you need and have a level of confidence that the person that you've hired, that you trust, is doing what they need to do to make sure that you're covered. In the end, that's what we're all looking for, is to make sure that you're taken care of. So, Tony Melo Properties team. You've seen, and we're going back and forth with text messages and emails. My cell phone, 508-369-9755, 508-369-9755. You may have other questions. I'm happy to answer all of them to the best of my ability, and I should be able to answer all of them. If I can't, not a problem. I got brokers, friends. I've been in the business a couple of years, so if there's anything that I haven't happened to come across yet, I can easily, quickly find that information and make sure that you're taken care of. So I got plenty of confidence as far as the real estate business, mobile homes, single-family homes, multifamily homes, commercial properties, residential properties, the whole nine yards. We've done them all at this point, so none of it scares me. None of it is a problem. But back to the whole I'm getting paid to do this work stuff. It is how I'm making a living. So, and I don't have a problem putting you on MLS and you not wanting or needing or being ready for anything at this point. That's perfectly fine. It's not a problem at all. We'll get you on there, get you that information. And when you are ready, hopefully you hire us to do that work. I know that yesterday you agreed to signing that agency agreement, and that's great. We're going to send that information out. When you do, we will technically be working for you. So we have fiduciary duties to represent you, to take care of you, and to make sure that you're not going to get hurt in any one of these transactions. Again, important for you, more than likely. I get paid through the seller. Doesn't make a difference if it's a mobile home, single family, multifamily, whatever it is. So the cost of my help to you is zero. It's nothing. They pay for that. Whatever it is that they've agreed to, whatever is on the MLS listing, how the split goes, that's something that we look at, and that's what we get paid. So that's no problem. No effect to you. Let me know. I'm going to send you that paperwork. I'm going to send you this video. Hopefully by the time you get this video and you get the paperwork, and if you have any questions, give me a call. You got my cell phone number. We'll talk. We'll go from there. If you're comfortable, that's good. If you're not comfortable, let me know how I can make you comfortable. And again, if you're just not interested, you don't want an agent, that's fine too. It's just I can't work on something, spend time on something that won't be fruitful for me or for the team to eventually pay for the kids, the food, the electricity. So this is a business. It's how we make our money. We in the end do need to secure clients, help those clients, help them buy the properties that they're looking for, get to a closing, get a check, put it in the bank, pay the bills. That's just how it goes. That's the world. That's the way it is. Tony Mello, Mello Properties team, 508-369-9755. Give me a call, text me, whatever it is that is convenient for you. I am here to help you. So is the team. If there's more questions, like I said, just ask and we'll work through those questions. Thanks. Bye.